As you see, they've got a neck on the floor. He's got his hand on her neck. What's it that she did? What's it that she did? What's it?
Straight out of Wales with the wind in his sails, he's tipping the scales, Silurian trails, revealing their names while he's lifting their veils. Public as sales, no one exhales, won't read in the mail, it's not printed in braille, no bonus for sales, the light will prevail, he's telling the tale while he's hot on the trail, whole nother scale, he's hammering the nail, he's trolling and rolling the camera and showing the standard that's double, exposing the bubble, removing the muzzle, he's always got trouble, he's fighting the muscle and solving the puzzle, he's taking the fight and he's spreading the light and he's doing it right, taking dark as the night and he's making it bright and providing insight while he's flooding your eyes like a hare in the headlight.
Step back, please, you'll be arrested. Step back. The press, don't even pick on me. Are you watching this? The press aren't allowed to film.
Injustice is served, collar crime is submerged. Don't be absurd, your vision is blurred. He's seen it occur, so right there on the curb. His iPhone record, he's filming the herd. BLM thugs act like palms high on drugs. They wrecking the place, they're smashing the face. He's in with the thick, in with hammers and sticks. Exposing the truth, he's showing the proof. He's trolling and rolling the camera and showing the standard that's double. Exposing the bubble, removing the muzzle. He's always got trouble, he's fighting the muscle and solving the puzzle. He's taking the fight and he's spreading the light and he's doing it right, taking dark as the night and he's making it bright and providing insight while he's flooding your eyes like a hare in the headlight.
You just don't want to see it there. You just don't want to see the violence. You don't want to see the violence on some of those people. 3 people on a woman.
Support for the vets, pray unless we forget the pain he besets and the truth he projects. He's a victim of threats, but he never regrets. Live stream the upsets, no printing gazettes. He's taken the test, got the pedo's address. No south, east or west, he streams the protest. No news is suppressed, the whole truth is expressed. Twin standards he tests, he's facing arrest. He's trolling and rolling the camera and showing the standard that's double. Exposing the bubble, removing the muzzle. He's always got trouble, he's fighting the muscle and solving the puzzle. He's taking the fight and he's spreading the light and he's doing it right, taking dark as the night and he's making it bright and providing insight while he's flooding your eyes like a hare in the headlight.
There's 4, 5 or 1. There's 2 on a girl. They pinned her to the floor. This one's getting a bully boy tactics, that's from the TSG probably. Sergeant, yeah.
Evening all, welcome to Real News Live News, Wednesday at 8 o'clock. Sorry I haven't been doing a hell of a lot last week. I didn't do any lives, but I've got a busy weekend this weekend. I'm off to Cardiff. I'll try and cover 2 demos, probably just a bit of one and then the rest of the other demo. The following week then I'm busy again. I got Armed Forces Day, which I'm in Bath, and then I'll be going to London hopefully that weekend as well. So a couple of busy weeks with busy lives, folks. So but let's get on with today. It's about promoting PCP Wales and the other demo in Cardiff, which is about the cost of living, folks. So I'm going to bring on Lucia from PCP Wales.
Hi, Phil.
I'm going to bring on
I don't know.
James from Student Tyranny, isn't it?
Students Against Tyranny, yeah.
Students Against Tyranny. I should have put that in it. If I disappear for a bit, I'm just sharing because I didn't get a lot of sharing done. So there's not a lot of people watching, so I need to start sharing. I don't know what's going on here. There's normally a lot more people on this. Could you tell the people who are watching, Lucia, what's going on in Cardiff on Saturday and why, please?
Okay, so this Saturday, 1 p.m, PCP Wales have actually been outside the Senedd every 3rd Saturday of the month for a good couple of months now, and we're not going to stop doing that. We're going to continue doing it. So it's going to be a little bit of talking. There's going to be a couple of speeches, but it's mainly about getting together, sort of having a chat, getting to know what's really going on. There's going to be lots of leaflets there as well if you want to come and collect some to give out. The last one we did, last month, it was brilliant, really good. We had some, it wasn't, as always, we always say there's never as many people as we would want to be there. But Phil, you were there. It did actually start. Not everyone was there at 1 p.m. because in PCP Wales fashion, it always starts later, and our regulars actually know this now. But yeah, it did start filling out as we carried on, and it was actually a really good day. So yeah, come down, suitable for children as well. If you have got the children with you, you can bring the kids, because we keep the speeches as as unsexual, if you like, as possible. Obviously, there will be information leaflets, and you can talk to the rest of PCP Wales on your own if you've got any questions. But yeah, it's going to be a really, really good day. I think the weather's nice as well. Yeah, come on down and bring a picnic.
Yeah, and what about yourself, James? What's happening in Cardiff Saturday?
So we actually a while ago we were organising all the COVID demos in Cardiff, but since that seems to have gone away now and people have gone straight back to sleep, we now want to focus on a new political topic, and this time we're going to be covering cost of living and the rise in oil prices and pretty much everything, because none of us can afford to live at the moment, and it's a very important issue that needs to be discussed, and we need to do something about it. I mean, they're blaming Russia and Ukraine for the reason that we have such high oil prices, when in actuality, if you look into the data behind it, 80% of what makes up oil prices is taxes from the government, right? Energy prices, I mean, they rise about 30% last April. They're set to rise another 54% in October, right? It's not, the government is lying. It's not Russia or Ukraine or anything else that they say it is, right? It is the government that is forcing this cost of living prices. The 2 years of lockdowns, of businesses being forced to close and told they couldn't open, has had a devastating impact on our economy. So unfortunately, I know it's the same time as the PCP Wales demo, but the plan is to have one at 1 p.m. Where we start outside the front of Cardiff Central train station. We're going to march for a little bit past all the energy companies, oil companies, all that. And then we are going to head down to the Senedd and join the PCP Wales lady and show them our support.
Yeah, brilliant. And this is it. We actually met up with, I suppose, some of the girls that are organising this as well. On our last protest, they were actually giving out leaflets, and we're supporters of each other, and it's actually quite a good thing that we've got it on the same day, because as you said, yeah, you'll be starting at 1 from Cardiff station. You can come up to us then, and it's about sort of getting people aware of each of our campaigns. And yeah, it is really important. And the cost of living is affecting everyone. Obviously there are rich people that's not going to bother, but the majority of people, especially living in Wales, are going to be affected. Well, they are being affected by the cost of living. I know they're putting up national insurance rates now, employee national insurance rates. It's nuts. We already pay about over 30% of our pay packet to the government in tax anyway. It's absolutely abysmal how much we pay anyway. And then, as you're saying, they're putting tax up on everything. Whatever we buy, the majority of it is going to the government. And unfortunately, they're not managing our money very well.
No, well, that should be evident from Pride and the fact that the police are marching around with fully wrapped in Pride colours and all sorts like that. It's despicable, isn't it?
It really is. Like, the only time we've seen police at our protest, you'll have a couple of them there. They don't do anything in support of us, and surely our campaign should be, like these policemen and women, haven't they got children? Surely our campaign should be of importance to them. But no, they'll just, one of our protests when that took place in the COVID lockdown, they actually charged Adele and Kim, and they ended up in court. So that's how much support the police have for this campaign. And yeah, I know it's really frustrating. Obviously, this month has been Pride Month, so they've all, the internet's going mad as well, isn't it, for Pride?
Well, you're seeing a lot of stuff now coming through, basically regarding story times. Where you've got these people telling stories in classrooms who are dressed up as females when they're actually men, and it's starting to get a little bit worrying, really, because they've got a massive list of where they're going this during July and August and September. And they're going to local libraries. They're not just happy. Well, they're going to be hitting schools as well.
Well,
and that's
exactly.
what we've got to be worried about.
This is like this Pride now bringing in this drag story hour. This is like them normalizing it, making it just be a normal thing. And then when they go into schools and they come in and entertain the kids there, no one's going to think anything of it. We knew this was coming anyway. It was always there. Like we follow America, don't we? With all our stuff. But what's concerning as well about online, we're coming across a lot of trans people who have either got trans regret or they're speaking out against the agenda. And these people are getting banned. They're getting called transphobic, even though they are trans. It's like crazy. It's almost like if you don't agree with this crazy agenda, which is sexualizing children, it's going way, way above and beyond sexuality. It's going into sexual deviance. It's going into, telling children that, your sex isn't assigned at birth, confusing children. It's gone way beyond. It's not about being gay or, genuinely thinking you're you're in the wrong body. It's gone way beyond that now. And people who were part of the LGBTQ, they're coming away from it and they're speaking out about it. And, I actually came across a post and it was a man who was gay, and he commented on the post and he says, as a gay man, this is all getting beyond now. It's a joke. And someone commented back saying, wow, there are homophobic gays and transphobic trans. So you're a homophobic gay. And I'm just like, what? The world's gone insane,
Well, I saw a famous drag queen. She was actually dead against it at these story times, because at the end of the day, a drag queen should only be really involved when you're like 18, 19, and it is kind of quite sexual. And it shouldn't be pushed onto children at that sort of age. Do you mean story time for children?
You've actually in Cardiff, so I think it's in August, on August 14th in Cardiff, you've got Drag Queen Story Hour, which will be happening at Cardiff Library. So if you all know Sasha Brown from Banners for Bridges, she will be organising a protest outside there as well, to let them know how they feel about them indoctrinating their children. I believe it's August the 14th, but I could be wrong. And if I am wrong, I will let you know. I'll text you. So
I'll have a quick look now on my phone, like doing. By the way, everybody, if you could start sharing, because I've got the same problem. I can't share. Yeah, I'm also on a shadow brand. So
I think, Phil, there's something in the air, because Kim said that she's got restrictions as well.
Yeah, I can only share to loads of places, but they just kind of stop me. That's why I got the other profile. Well, I can tell I'm shadow banned by how many people are on here.
Yeah.
I'll share it now.
Yeah. So Shane, get sharing, mate. Yeah.
On Getter, Telegram, and Facebook.
Yeah. Oh, that's the point. I haven't put it together yet. But it makes no difference, I don't think, with Getter. But yeah, I'm finding it quite odd, really, that these people in libraries and schools will let a drag queen in front of their children.
I know. And all the parents bringing their kids there as well. I'm like, what is going through? Is it like, oh yeah, look at me, I'm a new age parent? I don't know what's going through their heads. I actually seen a video of one of these sort of children entertainer drag queens, and this, I don't know what the person's name is, but
Chase,
it was like,
wasn't it?
What's that?
Was his name Chase, the 11-year-old drag queen?
No, it wasn't that. It was an adult drag queen.
Oh, right.
And he's telling stories, but really, like getting into these storybooks, like kids' storybooks. And he keeps going right up to the camera like that. And I'm thinking, my God, that would scare me as a kid, because it's a man, a grown man with exaggerated, stupid lips, eye makeup, which is just, and yeah, I'm just thinking, how is that children's entertainment, for goodness sake? It's scary the way they're actually presenting themselves as well. It's not child friendly. No way. I just don't know. I don't know what people are thinking.
So how's it looking for the court case as well now for PCP Wales?
Well, obviously everyone knows you've had the judicial review granted. So yeah, we kind of told everyone that. So if you haven't heard it, where have you been? So obviously that's all going through. Fantastic. We have had another update that the court case will not be till after September. So the problem we've got with that is, of course, the rollout is started in September. We don't want those lessons to go anywhere near children. You could say it would strengthen our case because there will be lesson content that we'll actually be able to present. However, we don't want to get it to that stage that children are being exposed to this disgusting nonsense. So what we are doing, we are putting something in place. We're applying to get some kind of injunction, so it's going to be postponed. I know comprehensive schools have postponed it because even though the rollout wasn't mandatory for the whole of the secondary school, it was mandatory for year 7. Year 7s were meant to roll out at the same time as primary. But we do know that I think they said 50% of comprehensive schools are postponing it. It's saying they're not ready because of the COVID lockdowns. I'm kind of thinking there's pushback, because we are hearing whispers that there is pushback. So I believe that's the real reason. So if they can postpone it for 50% of the year 7s around Wales, surely they can postpone it for the primary schools as well. I'm feeling optimistic. We need to be optimistic on this. Everything so far has gone to plan, even though it seemed like a massive mountain to climb. So yeah, I have full what's it called? I have I can't even think of the word. Sorry.
Confidence.
Yeah, there we are.
You can use that. You can use that instead. At the end of the day, I'm sure they could. Look, you need an injunction of some sort to stop schools doing it until the court case has been heard.
Exactly.
If you can get an injunction by the same judge who give you the review, I'm sure you'd get the injunction then, wouldn't you?
Yeah,
I don't know if it's possible, but he's on your side to a certain degree, isn't he?
Yeah, absolutely. And the thing is, I don't know a lot about law. Is not my field, but surely, if there is a case that's been granted because the information, the complaints by us is that bad that they are willing to take this to court, then surely they're not going to be willing to allow children to be exposed to this. Because this isn't, the thing is, if you expose children to things they're not meant to be exposed to, their brains are like sponges. It can, we need to protect them from future harm, because that can harm them now and can harm them in the future. Just having the information, So yeah, let's hope we've got some people high up there in the courts with some morals and some sense. Pray it.
Yeah, just more money to take our government to court. We're going to use our own money against us.
Yeah, exactly. And I haven't said yet about our fundraiser. So if any of you don't know about our fundraiser, we are, obviously this court case is costing money. We haven't been able to get, sort of like legal aid or anything like that. So we are paying it all. It's all donations only, and anything that we can put in ourselves. So, if you're feeling a little bit generous, or even if you're not, you can only afford maybe £2, I know things are tight, which is why James is doing the protest as well on the same day. So every penny counts. If you just donate a small amount, share it out. The more contributors we get as well, it lifts us on the platform. obviously you sharing it out, you're going to let all your people know about it, all your followers. So yeah, we just need to get out there far and wide. I keep saying if 10% of the households in Wales give £1 each, I think it's that way round, then we would actually have our card.
It's 16 pence.
What's that?
It's 16 pence for every household in the country.
No, 16 pence per child, isn't it? We counted out how much per child. So 16 pence per child. So if you've got 3 children, 16 plus times 3, and you've actually paid for your children, basically. So yeah, let's just get on it, everyone. Just, you know, share our fundraiser. I know I should really put it in the chat, shouldn't I? Should I do that?
Yeah, if you can, just send it to my private chat, and I'll the private chat on here.
Oh, in fact, people can just go straight to our website because it's on there.
I'll get it for you now.
Or unless any of my admin, and they can bang it up if my admin are around. Carrie Ann, Jill, Tommy. I know you're about somewhere.
Unless you're that shadow man that even your admin team can't see you.
I've got two. I can see 2, but one might be having problems at home. So
I've just put it in the chat.
Oh, thanks, James.
Yeah. All right. Let's bring it up. There you go.
There we are. Brilliant. Thank you.
I'm absolutely hopeless. I am. my admin are much better than me when it comes to it. So the demo in Cardiff for you then, Lucia, is going to start at 2 o'clock, is it?
No, we're going to be there from, well, actually, I've got to say, I'm not going to be there this weekend. I'm quite upset about it because the first protest I've missed. I'm away. It's my sister's 40th. I've booked to go away. So I won't be there, but of course the girls will be there. Kim's there. So, you know, she's the mountain of knowledge. It should start at 1, but usually it's a case of, you know.
Well, yeah. I thought it was starting at 2 because I'm sure that Kim was going to go over to the train station about 1:15.
Oh. I was told that as well.
Yeah,
okay.
I was told that as well.
And that's where I'm going.
Right, okay. I'm going to...
So hopefully it's going to be a bit later. I don't know. We're not talking to each other, are we? It's meant to be communication, like doing between us all.
I think what's going to happen, actually, maybe Kim is going to go into the train station because she'd like to support your protest as well, because that's very important. But then there's going to be people at the Senedd as well. So sort of, you know, setting up, having a chat, because it's a protest. It's not as a formal protest as what we would normally do, you know? So, yeah.
It's more about spreading the message, right?
There will be people at the Senedd from 1. But yeah, I think most of them will be joining James's protest to begin with, and yeah, going to the train station first. God, it's going to be an exciting weekend, isn't it?
Well, it's going to be a rushing round one, I'm telling you. Because if it's loads of people there, I'm going to have to leave after I see the march go off and go straight down to the Senedd. I don't know, Kim. I'm bound to talk to Kim before Saturday anyway. So she probably... What
we said though is depends on the size. So if it's a big protest, we just want to, you know, stay in the moment, you know, enjoy it as much as we can. If it's a small one, we're just going to, you know, march for a little bit and then go straight down to the Senedd. So it really depends on the numbers we get. But we're hoping for big, but, you know, who knows right now in this current climate.
You would think it would be big because, as I said before, this affects everyone, doesn't it? You know?
Yeah.
Is it insane?
I think you might be wrong. I think you might be wrong, Nick Thomas. I don't think there's going to be any raincoats needed because I did look at the weather earlier. Somebody did say it was going to rain Saturday.
Did they?
Yeah.
Say that.
Let's hope not.
Yeah, I don't think it will rain, to be honest with you. The weather's too nice. They're on about nearly 30 degrees on Saturday.
Lovely. Well, I'm in West Wales, so I'm hoping it's going to be nice for me.
No, it will be nice down there.
No, don't say that.
It won't be.
There's nothing worse than getting away for the weekend and it's raining and you're like, no.
All right, then.
Nice for all of us.
The last thing I'm going to go over with you with Lucia for a minute is everybody thinks they can take their children out of school to get out of this, right? They can't. We know that because you've got it's incorporated with all lessons. Now, if you wanted to take your child out of school full stop, there's a bill going through Parliament at the moment. It's called the Schools Bill 2022, which they're trying to rush through, which basically you have to teach what they teach in schools. If you're teaching more than 5 children at home, you're going to be classed as a school. So you'll be inspected like any school will be. But they'll be also be checking on you on what you're actually teaching if you've got a lower amount of children. So people think the school education, they've been getting away with it. There's certain aspects of the school education which they have to compulsory teach. So what's going to be compulsory taught is the sex ed. This is why they brought the bill in. So what are your thoughts on that? Because they're trying to rush this through Parliament at the moment.
Yeah. Well, they're trying to take control of every single child because the government know with this filth coming into the schools, there are going to be a lot of parents that are going to pull their kids out because, you know, what reasonable parent would want their children learning about this? So, you know, whose children are they? Are they, you know, like when you have children, are they your children or are they the state's children?
It's
already. I'm going to say now. Go on.
It's already said. It takes the right away as a parent on what education your child can be taught.
Yeah, it does.
It's not up to you any longer. It's actually. I read about 25 bits of the bill going through, and there is. They're taking it away from you as a parent what your child can be taught.
It's insane.
It's about destroying the family unit.
Destroying the family unit, exactly. You know, that's exactly what they're doing. Bit by bit, they've been doing this, and then all of a sudden, it's like going back a while ago when they started bringing that thing in when you couldn't take your children out of school to go on holiday. Now, I was lucky enough because my kids were in primary. I was lucky enough that the primary school they went to did allow it. They didn't, because some primary schools or some schools were actually fining the parents to take them out of term time. And some of the parents were like, well, I'm going to pay the fine because it's a £40 fine, or I've got to pay double the price for a holiday. So they were just, oh, who cares? I'm paying the fine. My school didn't do the fine. But what is that all about? You can't take your child out of school to take them on a holiday. But you've got to ask them for permission. That did not sit right with me because, yeah, I do send my kids to school. And yeah, there is a curriculum, you know, sort of reading, writing. I trust the teachers are better than me at teaching maths, English, science, etc. because obviously I'm not a teacher. And you send them to school for socialising. There's all sorts of reasons why you would send them to school. But then all of a sudden, the schools are telling you, as a parent, you've got to literally ask them for permission. Can I take my children away? I'm like, that just didn't sit right. And since then, it's just getting worse and worse. Now, if you decide to home educate your children, normally what home editors do, they tend to teach their children or do things with their children are interested in. You know, they make it like, you can't do it with a class of 30, can't you? You can't specialise anything for a class of 30. But if it's just your children, you can actually specialise content that's suited. You know, if your children loves art, you do more arty things. If they like activity, you know what I mean? You can do things that they enjoy doing and, you know, work on their strengths. But yeah, all this control is absolutely disgusting. And yeah, it is. That's what they want to make sure, that every child is learning that they can be a trans, or they can be, I don't know, pansexual or bisexual, and all these different sexualities. You know, they're just determined to corrupt our children at every level.
Let's just get one thing straight. There's only 2 sexes. Full stop.
You're not being a bigot by saying that. You are either born male or female.
Biology states that.
Exactly.
Human biology states is male and female. What you do afterwards, that's sexual. It's not your biological DNA.
Yeah.
Do you see that video? Do you see that video recently? It was basically some guy interviewing a gender professor, right? Gender professor. And he said, "So what is a female?" And he said, "Well, to me, it's pretty simple. It's anyone who identifies as one." Well, what is that? What are they identifying as? And he said, "As a woman." And he just looked him dead in the eyes and went, "Do you know what a circular definition is? Because it's exactly what you're doing right now. It's, you know, what is a woman? Well, a woman is anyone who identifies as a woman. But why would they identify as a woman if there's no definition for what a woman is?" And
Exactly.
it's this idea they've got that you can just identify as anything, or there's thousands of genders without defining exactly what a gender is. That's interchangeable. What's the point in having gender in the first place then?
I know, exactly. Well, were you talking about that documentary, What is a Woman, that Matt Walsh did? Or did you see that? Brilliant, really good. And he was actually speaking to psychologists. There was one woman, and she was an affirmation psychologist. So that means the children come into a clinic, and instead of checking what is wrong, why a child is feeling depressed, she's there to affirm them as their chosen gender. It's absolutely nuts. And this woman could not define what a woman is. In fact, she said, I think it was the affirmation psychologist, it was one of the psychologists that were to do with the trans movement. He said, "Oh, so what is a woman?" And she went, "I wouldn't know, because I'm not one." But there's a woman saying this. It's like, well, how can you affirm someone if you don't even know what a woman is? So how do you know you're not a woman?
Well, it's pretty obvious. You're either born with a cock or you're not born with a cock. It's simple as that.
Well, didn't they want to?
You can't put it any other way.
I swear they wanted to. There was this thing recently where they wanted to define a woman as someone who's had a menstrual cycle, which basically means that anyone under the age of 12 or however old they have their periods, right, isn't a girl, isn't a female.
No,
and there was this massive thing about it recently. Yeah.
I'm sure a man can have doing menstrual cycle even though he's a trans.
These days, yeah.
You can't. It's impossible. It's physically impossible.
Can you imagine like a woman sort of having a really, really bad period, and some trans man coming up saying, "I know how you feel." Like, whack. Don't you dare.
Yeah, I'm having time of the month. Yeah, so am I.
Yeah. On your bike.
Oh, I'm going through a menstrual cycle. I've come to that time of life now. Yeah. What bollocks? Oh, I know what it feels like to have a baby. What bollocks? It's all bullshit.
It is. And it really does take away the importance of, like, when they're doing with the sports now, trans men competing in sports, it's getting really serious now, because it's just taken away women's rights altogether. This is because, women can't win against men. Like, I used to do a lot of running competitions years ago. I was relatively fit then. And they always had, like, you're racing everyone. It's at obstacle races, nothing serious, like fun races I used to do. And it would literally, no matter how good I did against all the women, against them, there would be loads of men in front of me. I would say about 20-25%. And this was for, no matter how. Oh, what's happened?
I'm back, sorry.
You're back.
The thing crashed.
Then. But yeah, no matter, what was I saying then? No, every single race I did, the men always did about 20-25% better than the women, always. So, we know that men have got an advantage against women when it comes to running, and sort of fitness, etc. You've got bigger lungs and everything. So yeah, it's just gone completely wrong now. Why are you laughing? What
do you mean we got bigger lungs? It's you we got bigger muscles. We haven't got bigger lungs. Where do you have them from? I don't know what you've been listening to this year.
Yeah. Have you? Was it?
Like everything's bigger, isn't it, in a man? Like just generally.
It goes down a long
I'm
road.
gonna shut up now.
Yeah. Well, talking about that, was it? It was Leah Thomas, wasn't it? Leah Thomas, who was originally, I believe, William. Yeah, Will Thomas originally was, I believe, in so he made his transition to become a female in 2019. Bloody hell, I'm getting stuck with the genders here. And originally he was like 300 and something in men's swimming. Then he became a woman, or he's still a man, but you know what I mean. And instantly is now taking the top spot in women's swimming. Within,
yeah, that's right.
You know,
that's why when it comes to the Olympics, they're going to ban it.
Yeah,
are they?
They're going to ban transgender. They have to go into their own. They either go in as a man or a female, whatever they were born with, because it's unfair advantage.
Yeah.
You won't see many women. You won't see many women trans. Women trans going into men's sports, will it?
I know exactly. I know.
You're not.
It wouldn't. It just unless it was, I don't know, something like gymnastics, maybe, because women tend to be a lot more bendy. But you wouldn't.
Right.
Yeah. All right then. All right then.
Yeah, but you are right. No, it is. It's yeah. Women are not going to go into men's sports, aren't they? They're not going to try competing against men.
No.
And how would you feel though? Like as a man, you're born a man, and then you go to you go and compete against women, and then you win. It's not even. It's not an achievement. It's like me sort of like going to the toddler race and going, yeah, I won.
It's cheating.
And the amount of hate that must come with it as well, because everyone hates him, shames him about it, and you know he's calling them transphobic. But surely, you know, you can't, like, in the future, how are you going to be able to look your children in the face and say, yeah, so I tore away these little girls' dreams who had some dreams of becoming #1 in Olympics and swimming or whatever, and he just tore it out of their hands. You know, it's not a manly thing to do at all.
No, it's not. There was an interview, actually. It was a young girl being interviewed. Oh, I think it was Matt Walsh again. Keeps popping up, doesn't he? He was interviewing a girl who was in college in one of the American schools, and she was in the team, you know, the running team, and there was 2 trans that were racing against her, and she could never beat them. Always the 2 of them. She said, I'm literally 20 meters away from them because they're that much better. But she says, us women now, we haven't got a chance of getting a medal. You know, a lot of them are deprived of first place, because she was coming third, see, so she was deprived of first place, and then the 2 girls behind her were deprived of silver and bronze. So, you know, it's like, we know it's unfair. Well, most people know it's unfair, isn't it? But it's just as agenda keeps pressing it.
It's cheating, full stop.
It is.
There is. Yeah. Unless, of course, they have a different category, which is trans Olympics or trans sports. Well, that's what they should do. Let them, because none of them would be winning then, except for one of them would.
Well, somebody's have to win.
Yeah, well, somebody's going to win, but you know what I mean? It's going to be a different sort of race, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You probably have about 4 that will end up doing and competing.
They'll be all too busy being fabulous. Oh, have I got to run? Sorry.
Yeah, with a drag queen outfit on.
Yeah, I know, exactly. This is the thing as well. Like when you see drag queens, adult entertainers, they would dress really flamboyantly and really exaggerated. They're not dressing like women. They're dressing as adult entertainers, because women, you know, you can see me, I'm not dressed like that. Most women don't, women don't dress that flamboyantly. Whereas trans men dress really flamboyantly, yet they're sort of saying, yeah, we're women. It's just like, women don't look like that. You're dressing like you're going to a fancy dress party. Us women, we don't dress that flamboyantly and have like this, crazy lips. I know some people do, but generally you know, if you want to look like a woman, you've got to try. I know there's a trans actually. Well, she's a transsexual, man to woman. She looks like a woman. She's against all this gender, this agenda. But she actually, if you look at her, she's not all like, ooh, not all like exactly. She'll just talk like I'm talking now. So, you know, obviously, if you were to see her, you wouldn't even think, oh, that's a man dressed as a woman, because she is, I think she's gone through the whole change and that. But, you know, if they want to be treated normally, then act normal. Do you know what I mean?
Well, Brian's just said, like, I mean, straight Pride Day. Yeah, I'm getting a little bit sick of this Pride weekend, Pride month. I mean, it's just going on and on and on. I mean, every single year is exactly the same.
To me, that is a really good idea. So I'm actually adding it to my list of ideas. I want to. So I'm. Yeah, that sounds like that'd be great fun. Actually, doing a straight men's Pride Day. We'll get a flag and everything, right? Just for the straight men of Wales.
No, not straight men Pride Day. A straight Pride Day for women and men.
Oh, sorry, my apologies. That was sexist, but yeah, straight.
Yeah, you are sexist.
Can I come?
Yeah, of course.
Identify as a straight man.
So, it's actually it's a thing already. So yeah, let's get a straight Pride Day going, shall we?
Yeah, I put a couple of posts up about that the other day. Like, you know, I'm getting sick of it.
Yeah.
You know, gay pride everywhere you go. There's rainbows, and it doesn't even have to be Pride Day anymore, does it? Gay Pride Month or nothing. You've got it on roads. You've got it on crossings. It's just taking a mickey now, like, you know.
Well, we've actually missed.
We know
straight
you're
Pride
gay.
Day.
We know you're gay.
We know
Keep it in the bedroom.
I know people.
No.
People who are, you know, there's a lot of people who are gay. They don't want all this.
No, they don't.
They're like, well, what's all this about? You know. I've got, you know, one of my best friends, she's gay, and she's like, she don't want to know. She's like, don't want to know all this LGBTQ stuff. She's like, well, it's almost like it's causing more divides. And, you know, society likes to do that, don't they? They like to cause all these different divides. And that's all it's doing. You've got a couple of nutters on the top there who has got the loud voices. I don't know if, like, everyone who does follow LBG, like people at that march, you know, that goes to the marches, I'm sure a lot of them don't really know the severity of how it's going. They're kind of just going along with it because they think that, you know, this organisation is for them. But, you know, everyone's going to wake up soon because it's coming in thick and fast, isn't it?
I think LGB, that should have been the end of it. You don't need to add all these extras like the trans. You don't have to the Q, the plus. You don't need all that. Why do you need it all?
The pedosexual that they were talking about for a while, or MAPs as well.
Yeah, MAP. Yeah.
Yeah.
They try and get MAP into it as well, aren't they?
Yeah. Which is why LGB actually wants to move away from the T alphabet numbers thing. They want to move away from that because they're getting sick of it, as most of us are as well.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I reckon. Yeah, you can't. You're male or female. Then you're either lesbian, gay, or bi. That's enough. That's all you really need to know. Really, don't need to know anything else.
I would like to add, if you are a trans, you know, you transition from one sex to the other, there's still two sexes. Because you've either gone from male to female or female to male. And if you're saying, well, no, there's non-binary as well. Well, non-binary is neither sex, so it means you're genderless.
And actually non-binary as well. It's 1 and 0. That's binary, 1 and 0, which means two genders. There's not more than that. Non-binary literally means two genders. You're either one or you're not. Like it you know, it doesn't mean you're not a gender. People are stupid. People are honestly stupid.
I know.
And then you've got pansexual. That's another one.
No. Pansexual.
Hermaphrodite. I've got
everyone.
I've got a list somewhere. Let's read it.
And then
read it out, right?
Yeah, read them out.
Right.
And then
you've got the puppy one.
Like asexual as well, like someone that doesn't
pup play.
have sex.
Yeah,
It's
pup
like,
play.
well,
That's another one.
Yeah, pup play. So
everything.
Right. So you've got anosexual, abrosexual, aceflux, aquasexual, agnosexual. You've got all sorts of ones here. Callosexual, penultrasexual, polysexual, sanssexual, sapiosexual, plantkin, which means you identify as a plant. No, it's a genuine thing. If you look it up, there's something called plantkin. So, that's my charger.
Well,
it's gonna die.
I've heard of the furries, like where kids are running around like furries, saying they identify as a furry or flurry or something, which is like,
I'm not flurry.
But what? You can identify as a plant?
Yeah.
Well, I identify as a teapot then.
Yeah, why not?
I identify as vaccinated.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, so do I. So do I identify as being vaccinated.
Yeah.
But if I ever get arrested on a demo, I am gonna fucking. If I ever get arrested at all in the future, I am identifying as a woman. As simple as that. No jokes. I am. The first words when I go into a police cell, I identify as a woman.
The woman.
Simple as that.
Why not?
Well, as long as you do it when you get arrested, and when they ask you your sex at the custody by the custody sergeant, they've got to abide by it.
Well, they do, don't they? Because you know, and they support it as well, don't they? They support anyone who identifies, and they can't say, "Well, you look like a man," because that is being a bigot. If they said that.
Yeah, well, definitely.
That's the way the story goes.
So, James, should we go on about the cost of living?
Yeah, I'd love to. Just so you're aware, my phone might die because the temperature's too high to start charging it, and my computer's camera doesn't work. So, so I'm 14%. So you got a little bit.
So, what are your thoughts, right? I saw it on the TV today. I already know that we sent $3 billion over to Ukraine. We've already sent so far in the last 10 years. We sent £3.8 billion to Syria, and we're still continuing to send it. They had a debate on it in Parliament today, and so what are your thoughts regarding that? Because we've got fuel crisis at the moment. We've got food crisis. We've got energy crisis.
Well, it's the same as allowing 100,000 Ukrainians to be housed here in the UK and under the Homes for Ukraine and Super Sponsor scheme, right? What they've done now is they've approved 100,000 to be housed here, and 2 of those 1,000 is going to be housed in Wales. Now, do we really have the resources or money for this? I mean, just yesterday we had 250 cross the English Channel into Dover. You have, I think, 10,000 this year have crossed now so far illegally. Out of the 130 that were meant to be sent on the flight to Rwanda yesterday, you had 8. Well, no, that number. Sorry, that dropped. No, it didn't. But that number dropped from 130 down to 6 due to the individual legal challenges. And then the European Court of Human Rights, who we so conveniently tried to leave the day before, is now got involved and said we can't do it. And by the time the Court of Appeal overrules the European Court of Human Rights, I bet you that number will drop down from 6 to 0. Priti Patel, the Conservatives, they don't care. They don't want to do this, right? So while we got issues like that, and we got a massive cost of living crisis and inflation rate that's going to hit 10% by the last quarter of 2022, right? That's what it's estimated to reach. We've got energy prices rising due to the government, oil prices, food prices, literally everything is rising. And you got, I think, about 1 or 2 pubs close each week at the moment, and that's because we're still facing the effects from COVID, right? According to economists now, we're facing one of the worst recessions we've ever seen in this country, even worse than the one that led to the Federal Reserve Act, right? So while we've got all of that, we're still taking in fake refugees, because they're not refugees, they're economic migrants, right? Ukraine's a little bit different because apparently there's still a conflict going on over there, which we all know is absolute rubbish, right? So while we've got, so while we've got all of our own major issues, we've got veterans sleeping on the streets, 227,000 rough sleepers that will be sleeping on the streets tonight. And instead of housing them or supporting them at all, we are giving 3 billion over to Ukraine. It really does not make sense to me. I cannot comprehend it. And the fact that people are, holding up signs saying refugees welcome, but when they see a homeless man down the street, will just walk on straight past him.
That's so true, James. Really is, because as you said, they're there like flying the bloody flag because the media have told them. But how many times they walk past someone who's starving on the street? Like, it don't make any sense at all. These do-gooders who think that we're supporting. They wouldn't be there if the TV didn't tell them to. They wouldn't be doing it.
Yeah.
So I totally agree with you there, James. It's a really sad case of fair. In fact, I think I seen a video on social media where it was showing that people were protesting against the people going out to Rwanda. No, protect the refugee, protect them. They were saying all this. Now, I seen a woman on one of the morning programs, and she was talking about sending them over to Rwanda. She goes, it's perfectly safe, and I think they need labour over there, so they need workers, if you like. But then there's people in this country trying to stop them, and it's like, if this area in Rwanda where they're going is actually, they'll be able to earn money, earn their keep and that, surely the refugees would rather do that, you would think, But, the do-gooders are speaking out for them without really knowing what they need.
You're missing one point, mind. You're missing one point that you haven't been told. Every time somebody goes over to Rwanda, say there's a 40 people on the plane, that plane's coming back with 40 Rwandans as refugees. You know that, don't you?
I have seen that. I've seen people say that. Yeah.
So we're not getting rid of refugees at all. We're sending them over, paying from over there, and then we're bringing more back in replacement. 1 for 1 it is. It's called 1 for 1.
Well, it'll be more than that because it's gone down to 6. So it goes off with 6 and then takes in 130. And that's how it's going to work. We know this, but I mean,
yeah.
Well, the main issue is, though, as you're saying that, is that in this country we don't have any laws against illegal immigration.
Yeah.
And the reason that is because we spent 47 years inside the EU, where we weren't allowed to have border security. We had to have open borders. That is one of their policies. Right, we had to, let anyone into this country we wanted, and so due to that, we have no laws regarding immigration whatsoever. So you can enter this country with no documentation, right?
It goes back to 52, mate.
Does it?
Yeah, it goes back to 52, the immigration rule.
So I'm guessing that was removed. Go on.
It was part of the European rights domain. It goes back to 52. It goes back along. I think it's 52 or 59, one of those 2 years. But it was our own demise, mate. It's our own demise.
Well, this is...
Go on.
Oh, I was just going to say that this just shows that we need to, this is what we need to push for now, is laws regarding that, so we can finally have secure borders and tell these illegal immigrants, not immigrants, just illegal immigrants, to fuck off out of our country. Excuse my language.
We haven't left, mate. We haven't left. We haven't left EU. We're still running by their laws.
Well, obviously we are. If the European Court of Human Rights wants to, intervene in a matter they would have no part of if we weren't a part of the EU, but people still believe we left in 2020. Yeah, exactly. But people
shouldn't have any power. But obviously they are. We haven't left.
Well, now but that's, if you've noticed now, right? You've got the UK who is being sued by the European Union for what was it? Something reneging on the deal, wanting to get the deal changed that was made in 2019.
Yeah, that's
something to do with the
Northern Ireland border. Yeah,
that's it.
Yeah,
it's nuts, isn't it?
They're still teaching.
Mr. Brexit himself, well, the guy who led Brexit is now Prime Minister. It's just like, come on, give us the Brexit you promised. Where is it?
No. You should have known the first day when he got elected, you're not having Brexit. because when we signed that document, deal or no deal, leave or stay, that's what it was on the ballot paper. It didn't mention deal, and we knew as soon as he didn't take us out straight away, as soon as he got re-elected with 4.5 million vets votes. I mean, because that's what he did. He conned the vets into voting for him for the Brexit, and also them not getting prosecuted for Northern Ireland. And any other future prosecutions, which he hasn't come true yet. And you should have known. There should have been no deal on the table whatsoever. We should have left, and that was it. Simple as that.
Yep.
Like.
Well, I would say I'm disappointed, but nothing. You can't expect anything from any of them anymore, can't you? Any of the government officials, they're all come from the same cloth, really. So, what else do you expect, isn't it?
What about fuel? What do you think about fuel?
It's like doubled in price, isn't it?
Where are you in, James? What do you think about fuel?
Well, fuel, as I said earlier, and by the way, if my phone does die, I'll join in on my computer, so I'll be back quickly. So regarding fuel, as I said earlier, right, 80% of the overall fuel prices is accounted for by taxes, right? The government, how much the government taxes. So even though they're blaming it on Russia and all of this, it has nothing to do with Russia, and instead the government is just raising prices themselves. They're deliberately doing that. Even though Biden was go on. Sorry.
I thought it was about 70%.
Well, it's either 70% or 80%, but I mean, the other day it was 50%. It's rised even higher since then.
Shocking, disgusting it is.
At the end of the day,
someone actually said, because these fuel prices, it was said years ago, you know, when the COVID was going on and people were being called conspiracy theorists. The conspiracy theorists were saying about these rises were going to happen. And I did see a note, someone had sort of like someone who's into investing. I was in one of those groups. And he sort of said, why didn't they buy call options at the future at today's price? Because if energy companies all did that, they would have been able to buy it later, but at today's price. And when I mentioned that to someone I know, they were like, well, they couldn't predict the war in Ukraine. And I was like, it's nothing to do with the war in Ukraine. This has been planned. They planned this.
Yeah.
You can't pay. And I think we get something like 10% of our oil from Ukraine. It's something like that. So it's not even, it shouldn't even be an issue, you know, in terms of, you know, getting it. The war shouldn't be affecting that. When someone said, well, we couldn't predict the war in Ukraine, so that's literally nothing to do with it. The government are just getting more of this.
Well, what I find funny is when Biden gets on national TV and says that the cost of living in an oil crisis is down to Russia and all of that, and then you think, hold on a minute, wasn't one of the first acts you did as United States president close down the Keystone XL pipeline, making you dependent on Russian oil in the first place? That was your doing, mate. There's nothing to do with Russia and Ukraine. You did that. You shut down the Keystone XL. You shut down the major pipeline in the US, and instead made yourselves dependent on oil from China and Russia. That's not about anyone else. That's your fault.
Britain only Lashia said 10%, right? It's 5% as far as energy is concerned, our oil and gas. That's it, 5%. And our prices have gone up by 54% in this country, even though we only get 5% from them. And countries like Poland, who live right now on the border where the pipeline is, they've only gone up about 4, 5, 6%. France has only gone up by 4%. It's our government who actually turned around and said 54% cap. Sod that. What's going on in this country at the moment? It should have kept it same as inflation, 1 to 2% of people's sort of rise in earnings, and that's it. Jimmy, they're making billions and billions.
I know it's awful. They don't care, and the thing is, it's not the rich that are going to suffer. It's a lot of people already live payday to payday, you know, and I don't know. I just don't know how some people are actually coping. It's really, we know our bills here have gone up loads, you know, in the last, like, I don't know, like couple of months, I suppose. And shopping, my God, shopping for a family of 4 now, that's really gone up, you know. Even if you're shopping in the likes of Aldi and Lidl, you know, people are really feeling the pinch. It's insane. They're just whacking at the tax for everything, aren't they?
I think the fuel is going to come down in the next few weeks because there's a lot of angry people out there who are starting to realise for them to get to work now is costing them more to get to work to actually go to work. I mean, where they could be on income support or wherever else.
Yeah.
There's haulage companies are going to be right pissed off soon. But I have heard they'd get a little bit of a backhander from the government, but it's still going to affect them.
Of course.
At the end of the day, there are protests coming out on. I think there's a couple on this weekend and there's a couple on the 4th of July.
Yeah, I've seen that, Phil. Where are they? Where are these protests? Do you know?
I think it's a Severn Bridge, both sides.
Okay.
And it's on a Monday. You can forget all these Saturday ones. They're not going to affect anybody, are they? I mean, the 4th of July, a Monday morning, when people are going to be going to work, I think it starts around 7 o'clock on the Severn Bridge or meeting at the Mega Services or something.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So that'll be an interesting to watch. But yeah. I think they'll get a small reduction and that's it.
Are you going to be covering that, Phil?
I've got to watch what I say because
okay.
You're bringing a motorway to a standstill, isn't it?
What's that?
I said you're bringing a motorway to a standstill.
Yeah, well, you're not organising it. You're just a passerby, aren't you, Phil?
Yeah, well, I'm going to be filming it, aren't I? I have gone on go slow over the Severn Bridge.
Well, if you accidentally get stuck on it, though, there's no one who can control that. So, I mean, you're just driving and then, all of a sudden you're in the middle of it. What can you do?
My car's shit, mate. So, anything can happen. If anybody wants to chuck me in the front, I did a go slow to Welsh Assembly from Silent Services. Everybody from West Wales came up, and then we had the Senedd and we served them with papers regarding Brexit. And the first thing with Silent Services, the copper said, "No, going slow. Go straight to doing as a convoy." So the first thing I did on the motorway, I was in front when sorry, we're going up to 30 miles an hour, yeah. Right, I've done a go slow on the Severn Bridge before. That was one of my first demos I ever went on. That was for Brexit as well.
No, was it?
Yeah, so I remember that.
You've been in this demo game a lot longer than me. I'm sort of still quite new to it, really. It's doing public child protection Wales is really the very first protest I have been to was when I met Adele because she was doing the children's protest
in Newport.
It was in
Newport.
Newport, yeah, that's right.
I was there.
You were there as well, yeah. Yeah, so that's the very first protest I've been to. And it was a great turnout, don't get me wrong. But what did shock me, because I'd seen all the BLM footage. I never went to a BLM protest, but I could see all these people protesting. So I was expecting the same kind of crowd. Well, I was actually expecting more because I thought, well, this is for children. So surely even more people would be. But I was, really surprised that it's not you don't get the same amount of crowds, don't you?
No. Did you see the police that day? There was loads of police that day. It was outside Newport council offices, wasn't it?
Yeah. To be honest, because I'd never been to a protest, I thought that was normal. I just thought, that's what they do.
No. Newport was actually all right, but they had the proper camera ones, vans and everything. They were filming just in case it did kick off. Yeah, I remember that one.
And we haven't stopped since. Well, I haven't stopped since anyway. But yeah, I'm a lot newer to it all than you, Phil. And I think, well, James, obviously you've just got into it quite young, haven't you?
Well, I have, and I'm going to have to join on my computer 2 seconds.
Okay.
Yeah, no worries. He's turned his phone on the side.
He's lopsided.
Yeah, thanks, Stinky.
Brilliant.
Yeah, thanks, Stinky. Yeah, the thing is, right, I reckon the prices are going to come down as far as fuel. The government will let it come down. But what we're going to have is, when it comes to October, September, October, when you get your new lot of bills in, and your 54% has now gone up another 34%, I think it's going to start hitting people a lot harder. Food prices are going to hit a lot harder. I think the fuel will start rising again. I personally think, what's this? I was there too. Rain test, protest, either. Yeah, so I personally think it's going to get a hell of a lot worse before it'll get better.
Yeah.
But
it will. And what? Oh, he's gone, is he? Probably.
Yeah, he's coming back on his computer now.
Okay.
There he is. Students Against Tyranny.
I love it. Brilliant. He does a lot, doesn't he? He's always out there. Yeah. Sorry, what we said? Yeah, it's going to get worse. Yeah, I agree. It will get worse before it gets better.
I know.
People are just not going to go out so much. Is that almost like a purpose of this, do you think, Phil? Getting people to sort of stay indoors and not integrate, because they like doing this, don't they?
Yeah, but it'll be coming to the winter, and the problem is people are going to be wanting to heat their homes, and they're not going to be able to afford it. They're going to have to choose between. Well, they're not going to have a choice. The only thing they'll be able to afford is a little bit of food, and that's it. The way it's going.
Yeah, you know, it is distressing.
But it's another way of starve. If you starve a community or keep them at a low, then you're not going to fight back, are you? You're not going to have the strength to fight back.
No, I know. That's why we've all got to get growing our own vegetables. I've been saying it for years, and I'm really rubbish at all that. I've got loads of weeds in my garden. Apparently,
you don't say things like that. You've got weeds in your garden.
I've got loads. Well, we used to I'm looking, and some of them are actually quite pretty, you know. So, and you can eat weeds.
Have they got big buds on them? Have they got big buds on them or something?
No, not that type of weed. No, I just mean weeds.
I just thought I'd reel you in a little bit, then.
Oh no, that's so funny. I'm there going, yeah, I got weeds in my garden. Yeah, I got all types of flowers there. And you can make brews with these flowers, can't you? There's all sorts of things you can make, like proper salads and that. So I'm going to start. Yeah, I think we all need to start getting more self-sufficient.
Yeah,
I've got a lovely apple tree. If anyone wants apples, because it's growing loads this year, it's loads of apples. So if anyone wants to barter with something that they've grown, give me a shout.
Nick Thomas has just mentioned dandelions. By the way, Nick, dandelions are good for tea. They're also good for health. I mean, for certain things to cure you. So dandelions isn't a bad idea.
Dandelions are really good. I know. I remember when this health expert. Well, I say she's a health expert. She was a health expert, not NHS health, natural health. And she would always go on about dandelions. They've got loads of good properties in them, haven't they?
Yeah.
I even think you can sprinkle it on your salad as well. I don't know. Like some of these weeds, you can do some mad things with it. We don't think to do it because that's not what society tells us to do, you know?
Yeah, there's a guy called Sean Morris. He for the last year, he used to do demos and stuff like that. He taught me everything in the beginning, like, you know. But he's gone into more like doing lives in his garden. He's a gardener as well. He talks about different plants, what each plant does, what different flowers do. And I've had him on the show once or twice, and he's really informative, like, you know.
What's his name, Phil?
Sean Morris. He's quite funny as well, because we were on about the trans statues and stuff, and he just I was nearly crying when he was on my live. I was virtually crying because he just goes off on one, and it's brilliant. He's really comical. He is, but
Cool.
he knows his stuff. He's grown all his veg now and everything in his back garden, like, do you mean? But he also goes out there and to forage every night and stuff like that after he finishes work. He's absolutely brilliant. Like, he knows his stuff.
That's really cool. That's really that's what's needed now. We all need a little bit of Sean Morris in our life.
Yeah, most definitely. Definitely.
Yes,
I will be having him back on the show in I think it's about a month's time. I'm thinking of having him back. But yeah, he's an amazing guy. Like, you know, he knows his stuff. Like what mushrooms to eat, what parts of plants you should eat, and stuff like that, which can cure you. Natural cures, alternative medicine, like, you know.
Yeah, so, the thing is, it's all around us, isn't it? It's growing all around us, and it's like people don't take any notice. You know, we're spending all our money in the supermarket buying processed stuff that's really our body's not meant to have. Yet we've got nature, like grass is really good for you as well. Like, it's got loads of good properties. Like, I haven't eaten grass, I haven't tried it, but you can buy like spirulina, you know, the powdered stuff. You buy the, you know, it's like you get it from the health shop where they've actually powdered, and it's practically made. One of the ingredients, the main ingredients, is grass. Because of all like
our bodies can't take grass anymore because that's what the appendix were originally for. That you could actually eat grass. Oh. Yeah, that's what your appendix were originally for, because they've shrunk and shrunk and shrunk over the year. I mean, thousands of years. That's what it actually was basically for.
Well, whatever I'm eating then is definitely edible. Perhaps it isn't grass. I think it's called like spirulina.
Yeah, it probably is grass.
Just not the grass you're talking about.
That's the stuff I put on my food. That's the stuff I sprinkle on my food.
Nick Tom said we will be like cows and the gas. We will be like cows and the gas they produce. Oh,
we already are, Nick. We eat beef, don't we? We drink milk. Well, I don't drink milk, but people drink milk. People eat beef. So whatever's in a cow, do you mean, it's still.
It's what we get anyway. Yeah.
Yeah, it's not going to make any difference. It's cookies. Yeah, cookies. You don't make that sort of grass with cookies, Lisa.
That's it. Phil's lost the
plot.
plot.
I lost the plot now, Tommy.
Phil's lost the plot. Yeah. Are you on? You are on, aren't you, James?
I'm here, but because I don't have access to the studio because I'm living with my parents for the next 2 months before I go back up to uni, and their Wi-Fi shit and everything, I have no access to cameras, so I look really unprofessional right now.
I was going to say, it's not like you.
Yeah, usually, like, next Monday I'm going to be going up to the studio in Bridgend, and we got a green screen with lighting and everything, so I'll be more professional then. So apologies for this, Phil.
It's all right. Don't worry, mate. Don't worry, mate. It's only about £6-7 for a webcam, innit?
Yeah, but I don't have any money. I'm like £1,450 in debt right now.
That's probably what you get for employing security when you're going to London, mate.
Well, it's not just the security. It was also I went 2 weeks in a row, just every day out drinking, and that was like my break from all of this. It was just 2 weeks of constant drinking, and now I'm back and I can't drink. Yeah. So I have no money.
James, I remember the days I could do that.
Oh God, I'm in them right now.
Yeah, Tommy, cows are beef. So cows eat beef. No, they don't eat beef. They eat grass, mate.
Did you say that, Phil?
No, I didn't say that. Cows eat grass. Cows are beef.
So cows eat beef, is it?
And they produce milk.
Well, we drink the cow's milk, don't we? People don't think anything of that, don't they? Drinking milk from a cow.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely.
Well, some people say that it's not actually meant for us humans.
No.
Why not? What?
I don't know, but there's like this thing where people don't drink milk.
Yeah, lactose. A lot of people get lactose intolerant, don't they? I don't know if that's just because they drank too much over their lifespan, or if there is. It's like gluten, isn't it? There's gluten in all our foods. We're not actually meant to have it.
Yeah,
So most of our foods has got gluten in it. So yeah, it's like we've just been trusting the food industry for so long. God, we don't know if anything that they're giving us is right, really. Even our vegetables are sprayed, aren't they?
Well, this is the problem. If you're going to grow in the grass, grow in your garden, they're spraying the skies. So all the poisons are going to go on you. Unless you're putting it into a greenhouse, it's pointless exercise, isn't it? You're still going to get poisoned by them. And Nick, what do cows drink?
I know it.
I know what cows drink.
They drink water, but baby cows drink milk.
No, yeah, baby cows drink milk, but normal cows drink Stella.
I know this, Nick, because my daughter always says it to me. She's always saying that thing.
Well, the best thing to do is get your friend to say silk 5 times, then spell out a word that rhymes with that or something, like say silk 5 times, and then spell out silk, and then what do cows drink, and instinctively they're gonna say milk every single time. That's the best thing to do.
Yeah,
that's
calves drink milk,
isn't it?
Yeah, calves drink milk, cows drink water.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, it's common, isn't it?
But you can get caught off guard, can't you? That's what Nick said. They milk, they do. And I probably would have said it if my daughter hadn't already asked me that question.
It's like what was that thing about toast? What you put in a toaster?
Yeah, what you put in a toaster,
and everyone says toast.
Yeah.
Absolutely ridiculous.
We've kind
of love this conversation,
haven't we, Phil?
Yeah, we all know pigs eat pork. Yeah,
pigs eat pork.
They do, don't they?
Well, you spent. How long did you spend? You spent about 2 hours. You spent 2 hours trying to scare me into stop eating pork, right? Didn't you? You kept showing me videos of parasites in them and what you do when you pour Coke on them. And yeah, he was horrendous. He was on London. Was that London?
That's really mean. What, do you not like pork then, Phil?
No, I eat pork. I honestly eat pork. Yeah, the pig I'm on about is a pig that's in a police station. They eat pork, like to me.
Yeah, all right.
Yeah, not one of the pigs that start snorting. Well, both of them start snorting, don't they? There you go. It is true, mind. If you get a piece of pork, I've shown James a video, and you watch everything. You watch all the shit that comes out of it, the little parasites, the worms that come out of it.
Don't.
Yeah, but we looked this up and it was fake.
It wasn't fake.
I looked it up on Google. Google's right. Google's
no. Oh, you believe Google?
Right.
You believe Google?
I'm joking, obviously. Well,
was that Snoop's fact checker?
No, it's true. You can see the video for yourselves, like doing, and it's not one video. You put it into YouTube.
My fact checker says you are incorrect.
I'm not incorrect. You're the fact checker here. Only because you like pork. That's the only reason.
I don't eat meat, so this conversation's not really an issue for me.
Well,
but I know it because my family eats it. So I'm thinking,
I'm not going to tell you about grass then.
Why? What's wrong with grass?
What peas on it?
There we go.
Oh yeah, no, but don't worry. I'm not out there eating the grass. I don't do that.
I can really imagine that.
My God, I'm so hungry. I've got to eat the grass.
Yeah, we'll try it. We'll try it out on a live. Yeah, definitely. All right. So, thank you both for coming on. So let's get this straight. the cost of living one is outside the train station on Saturday.
The front of
at 1
Cardiff
o'clock.
Central train station.
And what I'm not 100% sure about the PCP Wales one. Kim will probably have to update everybody what time that happening started.
I would say, right, people can sort of make their way there at 1. There will be people there at 1. However, Kim is going to join that she wants to go and meet them there and just walk up to the Senedd. So, you know, if you're around from, you know, it's probably most probably going to start more like 2 o'clock, but there will be people around. So, you know, if you did get down there for 1, you wanted to chat with some of the other ladies, then and gents, because there's gonna be gents there as well, then to get there for 1. But more than likely it's more likely to sort of start properly at 2. But I'm not going to be there. I'm so sorry, everyone. I am away this weekend, but it will be good. It'll be a good crack anyway. It'll be fab.
But the thing is, we do need people to start. All right, we had about 70 people there the last time. We need to look. At the end of the day, parents should be really annoyed what's happening at the moment. They've seen it in the news now. The publicity which PCP Wales have had. They've been on Jeremy Vine's show. They've been on a radio station. They've been in countless press articles. Now, if parents aren't going to stand up now, what is going to make them stand up? Because I find it diabolical that there's not more support for them.
I find it diabolical as well. And the thing is, people just think it's not going to happen, or they'll allow other people to, you know, sort of protest on their behalf. No, you all have to get down there. You all have to get. You just, you know, we need.
It's not.
The more people that are doing this and the more people that are raising their voices, the more chance we have of making sure that this leaves our country and never comes back again.
This isn't even a protest. This is an information a time on a Saturday where you should be going down as a parent and gathering information, because that's what it is. It's not a protest. It's not waving banners around and doing all this and that. It's actually a formative place to go for the correct information, which you lot, the PCP Wales, are dishing out the truth.
Yeah, exactly.
So, and every parent needs to be down there. And I don't give a shit. Do you know what I mean? They should be there.
Yeah, and even if you don't agree with what we're saying, come down and have a chat with us, because the thing is, if you don't agree with what we're saying, I don't think you've got all the information. And if we've been asking this for ages, if you've got some information that's proven us wrong, please give it to me, because I'd like to be doing something else. You know, I don't want to be having to fight the government against this. I don't want to be having to do this. You know, I'm doing it because if we don't do it, like, this is going to be the end of humanity as we know it. It's gone far too far anyway. Everybody just needs to get together. Everyone just does their bit. Come down, as you said. It's not like a protest, really. It's more like an informative gathering.
Yeah,
but there's lots of you there. You're showing your support for the campaign. If you've got questions and you think, you know, what we're saying is a little bit whoa out there, you don't believe us, come down for a chat. We won't shout at you, you know, for disagreeing. We'll explain. We'll allow you to come away with stuff, and then you can actually make a decision based on all the information, not just on the information that you've received from the Welsh government. You know, so come down. It'll be a lovely day as well, and it's always nice to meet everyone.
Yeah, it will be. It will be. And if there are people around that do support the cost of living, obviously you need to go and support them as well. But please come over to PCP Wales, because at the end of the day, your children need you. Your future children in this country need you. I mean, you need to be there. You need to show numbers, because it was in the papers. It was 5,000 parents, which were peed off, and that's where all the newspapers have got, like, because that was to do with what was it? The thing you had to petition. Basically, that's where they've got it from. The 5,000. Is.
Oh, you mean our petition, PCP Wales position, yeah?
So these 5,000 people who signed that petition need to get down there and show support. They do.
Come down.
because we're going to have at least once a month now. What? June now, July, August, and probably September.
Yeah.
So we're talking about another 3, and we need to get the numbers up every single week to show the government we're not going to lie down, we're not taking it anymore, and we're going to take them on.
Yeah.
Because our kids deserve a lot more than what they're trying to dish out to them. Like, you know.
Absolutely. Can I just add as well, if anyone is coming to our protest and you like to do a bit of walking, then join the cost of living protest first and then come up to the Senedd. Like that, I think that would be really good to 100%. Support each other in this, because we're all going to be, we're all singing from the same hymn sheet. Obviously, they're completely different campaigns, but when it's all about, actually, it's not completely different. It's all about humanity, isn't it?
Yeah. It's about a tyrannous government.
Yes,
that's what
please.
it is.
Well,
yes, please.
I mean, we will, like a lot of us, obviously it depends on the numbers, but 100% either way, a lot of us are going to be heading to the PCP Wales ladies protest afterwards to show them as much support as we can.
Excellent.
That's brilliant.
James. Thank you.
That's brilliant. Okay, I'm going to say goodnight to you two, and I won't see you on Saturday this year, but I'll see James.
Okay. Right. Okay. I'll miss you all. Have a good time, and I'll see you all soon. And thank you everyone for watching, and thank you, Phil, for having me on again. Really appreciate it.
It's not a problem, Lucia.
Cheers, Phil.
It's a pleasure. Yeah, thank and you, James. I'll see you Saturday. Thank you both.
Yeah.
Right. It's gone on nearly an hour and a half now, folks. It's quite all right. It's 2 brilliant guests on tonight. Loads of different comments and stuff like that. I don't know what's happening with Facebook tonight. It just seems to be there's not a lot of people about. I think they're nice weather, and there are a couple other lives going on. But I will be live. I will be live outside the train station on Saturday, round about from 12:30 to, I'd say 12:30 to 1:15. You better catch me live, and then I'll be live. Probably I'll still carry on the live when I'm in a taxi on the way down to the centre, folks. So you'll be able to catch me down there as well. So that's this week. Next week, like I said, it's going to be Armed Forces Day. I'll be going down to the PDSD camp in Bath. I'll be supporting them for a bit, and hopefully I can get to London that weekend, depending on what time the Remembrance Services goes off. I'm not sure, but we'll see. But I will be live next weekend as well, and the weekend after, I'm not 100% sure, because obviously we've got on that Monday we've got this. I don't think it's a go slow. I think it's to bring the motorway to a stop. But obviously I'm not organising that. I'm going to be filming it. It's pretty obvious. If I'm stuck in the traffic behind, I'm stuck in the traffic. If the 7 bridges come to a halt, it'll come to a halt. It's not going to be pre-planned by me. I'm just going to film. Well, you know me, folks. But yeah, I'll just be going to film. So hopefully you get some good footage over the next 2-3 weeks. So yeah. So thank you all for watching. Thank you all for sharing. If you could continue sharing, because Facebook had just been twats to me today, as per usual. And thanks to my admin as well. Who's this? Yeah. So if you could please share, it'd be great. My admin has been awesome, and thanks for watching, folks. And I'll catch you next week at the same time, or I'll catch you Saturday. Bye for now.
As you see, they've got a neck on the floor. He's got his hand on her neck.
Straight out of Wales with the wind in his sails, he's tipping the scales, Silurian train.
Okay, picking it up here in Wilmington, North Carolina, right at the Intercoastal, and we're in one of these bands.
So that's my site, Dell, in Wilmington, North Carolina, but as he races and fights to win Friday, check out the 2 guys who seem to walk right by him in the background there with no trouble at all. The video has been shared more than 1 million times on social media. Now it's the
Cruising, looking for some news and losing is amusing. Other people choosing the topics I can view and the subjects I can chew on, the facts that I can spew and the news they put their slew on. Twisty, turny, wriggly, wormy, squealy, squirmy news. Psychopathic journalists deceiving with their views, tightening like a tourniquet, they're aiming to confuse. Nightly negative narratives narrating you the blues. Blues and twos, new taboos, the pasta's all sold out. The hurricane's incoming and the world is dying out. Asteroids, blasteroids, steroids in their tails. The windiest ever windy gales are blowing in the dales. The sea levels are rising at a super duper rate. 247 365, the caliphate's your fate. Tidal waves are waving like the death rays from the sun. Duck and cover, stand your ground, there's nowhere else to run.
Now, more on the latest building collapse in New York. You might have heard a few moments ago I was talking about the Salomon Brothers building collapsing, and indeed it has. Jane, what more can you tell us about the Salomon Brothers building and its collapse?
Well, only really what you already know. Details are very, very sketchy.
Writing, fighting, to publish stuff exciting. Losing is amusing, other people choosing the posts that I can post and the documents I can read from, the info I can feed from, the facts the checkers get wrong. Sleazy, slimy, geeky, grimy, black-eyed shoulders tech, concluding with a clickety-click what's wrong and what's correct. Politically encouraged with protection from the law. They're getting pretty ruthless now, they're panicking for sure. Scrubbing out the info like a scrubber in a tub, deleting the derogatory of the members in their club. Documents and studies disappear without a trace. Psychopathic moralists, they're doing it in your face. The info is erasing at a super duper rate. Breach community standards, your account will feel a fate. Post a funny memes that you hate and are extreme. No chance of an appeal cause you're white and so supreme. Doctors, nurses, scientists and servants, real boys made from wood, covering for the perverts, defining definitions that will put you in a spin. Anything of interest gets filed in recycled bin. Algorithms algorizing the content that you post, collecting information, long-term storage with a host. Five Eyes keeping eyes on you, they're eyeing up your speech, using legal loopholes to conduct a data breach. Unqualified assessors banning stuff they do not like. Since early 2020 this has reached a massive spike. You're swimming in a dirty swamp, the swamp is full of pike. Post a touchy subject and receive a community strike. Unelected unofficials making up the rules. $1 billion corporations